here I go, lying in my bed. I got the sheets pulled over my head. I'm about to roll right into that K-hole. That's where I get to be free. That's where I get to meet me.
Yeah. Sipping on this whiskey, got me feeling tipsy. Shorty wanna roll wood and wrap me like a 6 feet on the
Live and rolling.
What the fuck's going on, guys? Caleb Fast here with the fastest growing podcast on the planet Earth, the Sincerely Podcast. I'm here with my co-host.
Thraxxx, you already know.
And today we have a very special guest across the table, my good dear friend. Go ahead, sir. Introduce yourself.
Do you want me to introduce you or myself the way you like?
I'm
known as Uncle Brucey.
Uncle Brucey, aka the real Bruce Black. We're gonna fucking throw everybody's ads up on the screen now. I've known Bruce now for, like a little while.
Yeah, a few years.
Not too long, like a few years. I first met Bruce through Alex. And what were we doing? We were just cutting hair.
You're trimming my beard, man.
That was the first time I met, which is a recurring theme on this podcast.
Actually, no, that's a lie.
When was the first time I met you?
I had a wedding and I came in and got my beard trimmed.
That's right. Okay, so
many connections through hair,
it was like a referral, right?
Yeah. It was through Alex.
Through Alex, of course.
But I hadn't. That's the first time I met you. Is when I went to the shop.
Oh yeah, my buddy needs a beard trim. Blah blah blah, and that's how I ended up meeting you. And we hit it off, and fucking we're here now, and we're fucking good friends. And,
this is awesome.
And it's a pleasure to have you on the podcast, sir. So you're a man of many talents. You're a man of many things. I think the thing you do the most would be magic, right? Would you say?
Maybe now. Martial arts been my whole life.
Martial art, of course. Martial arts been your whole life.
Martial arts my whole life. Magic on and off since I was 6 or 7. If you want me to go through the list.
How'd you get
into magic?
Yeah.
Actually, my grandfather on my mother's side, he was a magician and a psychic.
Damn.
I never met him. Then my uncle, my mom's brother, he was a magician and a psychic, and my mother was a white witch.
Mm-hmm. Talk about that. Like, what's it like having a
white witch?
It's opposite of a black witch. No, so technically, no, it is. It's they use their powers for good, not evil. A black witch is like someone who wants, like a, yeah.
But would it all still be like witchcraft?
Somewhat, yes. She didn't actually cast spells, or she was more of the psychic, the medium. She used to go around and determine if houses were haunted. I lived with a ghost in our house for many years.
Where did you grow up, Brucey?
Here in St. Catharines.
Okay.
Right here in St. Catharines, in the house that I spent the majority of my life in. We had Lester down in the basement, and many people have saw him. So
Lester the ghost.
Lester the ghost. He was actually a steam captain.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So my mom did a bunch of research because we moved into the house, and I think it was the second day we were in there. My mom had a makeup vanity or whatever you call those things where they do their makeup. The women, with all the drawers and the mirror.
With the fucking lights.
No, this is older.
This is older.
Yeah. So
this ain't like the Tumblr, TikTok fucking.
No.
The fucking.
So her bottle of foundation dropped on its side, right on the edge, and the foundation.
That's alarming.
And the foundation went down the side, and it did a side profile of a gentleman and stopped at the neck. Didn't go any farther. And he had his ship captain's hat on. So my mom, doing the research, found out that the guy and pretty sure that it was him that was in our basement.
When little side note, just reminded me of it. But when I was probably 6, I moved to Grimsby for 2 years. We rented a house, and this house it was like owned by a shipping company, like a boating company for like 100 years. It was like from old, and so we were like, me and my brothers. I'm the oldest of 5, and we were all playing on the street. Down the street, we come to the door and we're like, Mom, Dad, we want this guy to come inside. And they're like, he's standing between us. And they're like, who are you talking about? And like, I remember specifically, like my parents still remember this too, like he was wearing like an old cap and like overalls. It looked like some like early 1900s clothing.
Fucked.
And like my parents were like, he's not coming in here. Like, who the fuck is that?
I grew up with that in my whole life. My whole life was
I've done a
I
lot.
feel that.
I've done a lot of like psychedelic drugs and shit, and I'm sure we'll get into that in this podcast. But like, I've never seen a ghost.
Wow.
No?
Thank God, because I
Yeah.
feel like that would fucking trip me out, like hardcore.
Well, I think it all depends on you. If you, like I said, I grew up with it, so it was second
Well,
nature.
and they say too that like and I believe this too, like kids have like one foot in the spirit realm still and one foot out because like they're
Definitely.
just
Their
born,
imagination.
right? And so, but it's not even like imagination. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like it's like you actually seen that.
No, yeah.
So what was your childhood like growing up then besides ghosts? Like how is it? I know we've talked about it, but I mean nobody else knows about it.
Oh, do you want me to go to the deep darkness?
Like whatever you feel comfortable with, really.
Well, it wasn't the best.
This will be seen by millions of people.
It wasn't the best. Well, so if it's going to be seen by
So you
millions,
grew up in St. Catharines, right? Okay,
Yes.
so you grew up in St. Catharines. You had your mom and your dad
Yes.
in your life for the majority of the upbringing.
Yeah. My mom passed away when I was 19. She was 43.
Yeah. Rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
Yeah, thank you. And then my dad passed away in 2008 of a massive heart attack.
Rest in peace to him too. That's crazy.
Yeah.
He didn't take care of himself out very well.
No,
sorry,
he took care of himself very well. He was a letter carrier for, I think, mailman or whatever. Like he liked to be referred to as a letter carrier. For 35 years, he walked like 15 miles, 17 miles a day. He ate old school meat and potatoes, but smoked like a chimney.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So that probably had a little bit to do with it.
it could.
So, yeah. And I think there might be a little bit of a broken heart in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That factors into it, right?
I think so.
With
Well,
with
it's
losing his
crazy.
wife, right?
It's crazy because yes, and I think it was 2 or 3 months after my dad passed away. His dad, like his dog, he had a dog, and she passed.
Damn.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, back to your upbringing. Like, what was it like growing up in St. Catharines? Like, how was your family life? Like, what was all that like?
It was up until.
And you have siblings.
Yeah, I have a brother and sister, and up until literally a few years ago, I thought I had a great, amazing childhood. But it turns out that there was a lot of shit. A lot of shit happened to me, and so yeah, it wasn't easy. And that's where right now I'm doing a lot of work on myself, trying to heal those childhood traumas.
Do you think all that has a lot to do with why you got into martial arts?
Well, definitely.
And what's your full name so people can like look you up and like because you can look up your martial arts record and shit like that.
No,
right?
you actually because when I was
how old are you, Bruce?
I'm 52.
52.
So-
but he's a strapping fucking young man. You see,
Thank
like
you,
I
yes.
mean, you're a fucking handsome guy. 52 is not old by any means, but that should be noted,
Not at all,
right? Especially for
when
the
you hang around with 21, 22 year olds,
you
right?
know,
It brings your
we keep you
you
young,
keep me
we keep
young,
you spry.
exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, actually, because when I was hardcore fighting Muay Thai, there was nothing called the internet. Nothing called.
Because you would have been my age when you were fighting hardcore Muay Thai,
Yeah,
professionally.
definitely. Yeah. So we're talking 30 years ago.
Yeah.
So there was no internet. There was no place to post videos to show this, to show that, to show your accolades. So it was there's no real way of looking me up.
When did you start doing martial arts then? And what was your main discipline?
So I started off in karate around 6 years old, and the reason why I started in that, and truth be told, was to defend myself against my brother and sister because they like to beat the crap out of me on a daily basis.
Not fucking cool.
No, not cool
fucking
at all.
cool at all.
So
Where did you train?
started off at a club here in St. Catharines. The instructor, his name was Don Racine, so Racine Karate, and then. If you really want to get into it, I was a bouncer at a bar here in St. Catharines when I was 19, 20 years old. And first night I worked there, this long story, but basically a fight breaks out and a gentleman was playing pool with his girlfriend or wife. She accused him of cheating, so she smacks him over the head with the pool cue. So some guy smacks her for smacking him, and then a bunch of guys started going after him for hitting her, and
Next thing you know, everybody's fighting.
and it was like literally a bar clearing brawl. There was nobody inside.
Damn.
So outside we go, and the couple that started this, the wife goes to the car, opens up the door, and gets their pit bull
Oh,
and
that's
starts
a good move.
getting it to try to attack her husband. Well, it did, but it backfired because it basically ripped her forearm off. So it eventually ended up on a friend of mine's leg, its calf. So I'm a black belt in karate. What am I going to do? I literally, there wasn't a thing called Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu back then. So I'm trying to do like basically a rear naked choke on this thing.
On the dog.
On the dog. Right? So honestly, so I have this thing and I'm laying on it. And I'm a 200-pound guy.
Yeah.
Not shitting you, this dog with its back legs stood me up. So now I'm standing, holding this thing like this. It wiggles and it gets out, and I'm thinking, oh, fuck. It's going to, no, it goes right for my buddy.
Damn.
Back at his leg. So I hop on him again. And the one owner of the bar, Mike Credico, Big Mike, he was a few hundred pounds. I hope the police and some people don't see this. But so he comes and he sits on me, and he pulls out a little 22, and he tells me, just tell me, Bruce, and I'll shoot it. You just let me know when, and I'll shoot it. Right then and there, sirens. Cops show up. So now I got a hold of this dog, and I am not lying to you on my daughter's life. The cop shows up, and he's like, what's going on? So he sees, and he goes, okay, when I count to 3, let go of the dog. Only time I've ever told a cop to go fuck themselves. I'm not letting go of this dog. He goes, trust me. I'm like, I'm trusting you. And then he turns around, and he goes, does anybody know the dog's name? The dog's name's Lucifer. Of course.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
Damn.
I'm not making this shit up. You can't make this up. So literally, he says, 1, 2, 3. I let go. He goes, Lucifer, you want to go for a car ride? Opens up the back of the cruiser, boom, 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 in, slams the door.
Dog's going to fucking jail.
No, dog wants to go for the car ride, right? Yeah. So the DJ at the bar, he comes over and he goes, have you ever heard of Muay Thai kickboxing? I'm like, no, I'm a black belt in karate. He goes, well, that's what I teach, and I'm looking for crazy motherfuckers like you. There's my.
Man, that's like your super villain origin story. You know what I mean?
So that's how I got into Muay Thai kickboxing. And since then, I've been teaching. I'm dabbling in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I've been a white belt probably the longest ever, like 15 years, because I can't commit enough time with the Muay Thai and stuff. And now I do have, and we'll probably get into my CRPS in my leg. So I'm not really doing much of that, but
yeah, because that's super fucking hard on your body, even if you are super healthy, which like you're healthy, but you still have these medical conditions, which we'll get into, right?
Yeah, exactly. But now through a brilliant gentleman here in St. Catharines, who I met through Defensive Arts, Phil Duncan, I am a yellow belt in close quarters combat sambo. Which
right. And talk about that.
The Spetsnaz.
That's the new thing, right? That just happened because Bruce actually made history not too long ago, right? Talk about that a little bit.
Oh, it was just so combat sambo is basically.
That's like dance fighting, right?
No, that's capoeira.
That's capoeira.
No, this is the Russian like. You ever heard of Krav Maga?
No.
So eye gouging,
ripping
your throat out. That like it's something similar to that.
Yeah.
It's the Russian. Basically the Russian martial art, and it's
how you end a fight.
Well, the theory is, like Phil's theory is, if the fight's gone more than 5 seconds, you're gonna lose, or it's gone too long.
Yeah.
So it's
it's more than 5 seconds.
Yeah, wow. It's because you're not. It's not sport.
No.
We're not trying to point. Like literally, you want to either really really damage them.
Yeah.
Or at least get to a point where you can get away.
Subdue them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn.
So. Yeah, and so it's been a very hidden. It's not the same. People might think, oh, combat sambo. There is a sport that you can look up online that's combat sambo. It's not the same. This is close quarters, so it's a lot of gun disarming, knife disarming, defenses.
Sick. That comes in handy.
Right now, nobody punches anybody in the face. They stab you.
Yeah.
So, and that's one of the things is what we were talking about at the club is. Not too long ago, right down the street from our club, off of Martindale Road, somebody got stabbed. So it's something that, in this day and age, unfortunately, which is going down the toilet, it's something to really know and be proficient in.
It would be useful, right?
Oh, for sure.
How many professional fights did you have in your career?
Muay Thai?
Yeah.
So, professional, I was an amateur. I never went professional, but I had 37 fights, lost 1. And then I've done 2 amateur boxing fights as well.
Damn.
Yeah.
37 fights. Did you fight all over Canada, or did you go?
Actually, no. When I was fighting, you couldn't. It was illegal to fight in Canada. You could train. Actually, when I first started training, we hid the Muay Thai. We used to wear gis because it was illegal to train. Then they made it legal to train, but you couldn't fight. So I fought in Pittsburgh, Michigan, like all down in the States. So
that's crazy.
Yeah.
How many knockouts do you think you have?
A lot. 36.
36. Yeah.
36.
Well, that's for people who don't know. Muay Thai is a lot of like elbows. It's
knees,
a lot of
it's
a lot of shit that you're gonna get fucking knocked out from.
I've broken shins.
Yeah.
Cracked femurs.
What's that like?
To break somebody's shin?
Yeah, or femur. That's your hip, right?
No, that's your main bone right here.
And that's from kicks?
Yeah, from me kicking.
Oh.
Yeah.
What is that like? Do you feel bad after?
No.
No, because that's what you're signing up
so
for.
That's what in Thailand.
That's the whole point.
In Thailand, back in the day, if you killed somebody in the ring, oh my God, you were a god.
Wow.
Yeah, it's
really like gladiator shit, low key.
Well,
right?
no, if you
well, that's how it was. Like, I mean, if we think about the evolution of martial arts, honestly, probably maybe part of where it stems from is from like gladiator times, right?
Oh, definitely.
Like, if you think about UFC now, like it's like 60, 70,000 people packed into an arena watching two people fight.
Yep.
And like they want to see the maximum amount of violence possible.
Exactly.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like that is gladiator like mentality.
We are terrible people. We are terrible people deep down inside. Mm-hmm. We are. No, like 'cause we
seek that. We want to see that. Like my buddy, shout out Anthony Romero. He's got a huge fight tomorrow night.
Oh yeah.
Huge fight tomorrow night.
Massive.
So fucking, he's gonna fucking crush. He's fighting OBA Oliver Aubin Mercier OAM.
Yep.
All you know who I'm talking about.
Yep.
PFL main event, huge fight. But like we think about that, like I can't wait to watch my friend fuck this guy up bad. I want to see him fucking end this guy's career. You know what I'm saying? Like partially because we're friends and like we fucking know. I know him very well, but like. Also because I love to watch people fight like that. You think about it, what you just said is very true. Like we deep down we are like that is fucked up. Like why would I want to see somebody get hurt?
Well, this is my belief.
You know,
but it goes back to caveman days. Like we, as much as stuff has evolved, and again, this is my belief. I'm not saying everybody needs to believe it. We are still pretty much cavemen at heart. We're still. There's a great documentary on Netflix called. Chimp Empire. It's a 4-part series, and it basically. And when I was done watching that, I'm like, we are just chimps, and they are violent, and they have
super violent.
But they have a hierarchy. They will, if they don't like somebody, they will banish and shun them. It's. I'm like, this is crazy.
It's exactly like how we are. And I don't know, Joe Rogan talks about this on one episode too, but there's a video where like a monkey steals a motorcycle and then like steals a baby or some shit that he talks about.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm Christian, but I feel like maybe like I don't know, like the Adam and Eve story is like God made people, you know what I'm saying? So it's like he made, but people believe, what do you believe in, evolution?
No, I believe that there is a God. I believe
who made people specifically, like we're different from monkeys. You think, or we think we are evolved monkeys? Because I always thought about that a lot.
I feel like it would be like over time. So like I think we evolved from monkeys, but he created monkeys and then like found.
It's just hard because if you're Christian, like you can't believe that.
No, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Because it goes against the faith.
That's a battle that I'm having right now. I honestly probably the last 10 years, I don't know what it is. I just feel like God is pulling me to Him.
100%.
So to honestly answer your question, I'm not really sure.
On the fence about it.
Yeah, like I believe that there is something up there. I believe that there is a higher power. I believe in the universe, but I also believe in Martians. Like I don't know. Like I don't know some of the stuff you've seen coming out as of late. Like,
I follow it, actually. I do follow it. I follow like Jeremy Corbell on Instagram, shit like that. He was on Joe Rogan's thing. They had he made a whole UFO. Well, not Jeremy Corbell, but this guy named it'll come to me. But there was a gentleman that worked at Bob Lazar. Who worked at. Have you seen that shit on Netflix?
There's a lot of
where like he worked at Area 51.
Yeah.
He's passed two lie detector tests about it, and he claims to have worked on alien spacecraft. And have snuck out like a part, this element 151, like he snuck it out of, And this is like a real fucking thing. Like this guy passed lie detector tests.
Yeah, and they try and call him out for it. Say, oh, that's not true. He never worked there. Blah blah. But like he's passed these lie detector tests.
Yeah,
So it's like
it's all coming out. There is a shout out to the Sean Ryan show, the podcast.
Okay.
I don't know if you ever watched it.
I haven't seen that.
He's a retired Navy SEAL, and he interviews a lot of former.
It's called Sean. You got to send me that.
Sean
after.
Ryan. Yeah. So operators like Navy SEALs, Rangers. He interviewed Dallas Alexander. Shout out to Dallas Alexander. JTF2 guy. He holds the world record for the longest sniper kill.
Okay.
And he was on the Sean Ryan show, and now he basically got kicked out of the military for not wearing a mask and not taking the jab.
Are you vaccinated, Brucey?
Yes, I am.
Oh, you are. Yeah.
I did. I wish I hadn't been. I wish I hadn't been. I drank the Kool-Aid for a while. But like I said, with all this new stuff that's coming out and the research I've been doing and the people that I trust, I made a mistake. So
I got one shot, the vaccination, and as soon as I got it, I was going to meet Jet, and I was going to meet Jet, and I'm literally walking around the corner. I had done it they were doing it at my high school. So I walked down the street right after doing it. I had to wait there for 15 minutes, and then I started feeling this crazy pain right here, and I like dropped down. It was on Ontario Street.
Do you think it was just the leftover Thraxxx packs?
Well, as soon as I got the shot, my head, like I have headaches, right? Like
Yeah.
every day, migraines or headaches. Like migraines are more severe, but as soon as I got it, my headache all shifted. Like it went from like just a fat headache to all feeling it right here, which is usually like all in one spot.
Yeah.
Frontal fucking cortex.
Yeah, and then it started like I was walking and it started just killing me, and I'm literally bent over in the middle of Ontario Street, just like sitting there for like 10 minutes, and Jet could see me down the street, and he was like, "What the fuck were you doing?" And I couldn't walk, bro. I couldn't walk anymore, and now every time I go skating, I'll go skating for an hour. I try an hour or two like a day, and like every time I go skating, like I stop like after like 30 minutes, and I'm like, fuck, and I have to like sit there for like 20 minutes and be like, what the fuck is that?
yeah, but going back to the Sean Ryan show, he just he just interviewed a guy named Sean Webb, and he was basically talking how AI and stuff like that and how things are progressing in the world with that. But one of the things, he was a huge tech guy, supercomputers, like people were paying millions of dollars for these computers, and he delivered and set up computers in Area 51.
Damn.
Yeah.
Damn. I'm really trying to fucking watch that. You got to send me that right after this.
I definitely will. There was I was watching a video today where they were talking about a Canadian member of parliament, I think from Alberta, because the way they had it, it was like silos and wheat. So I'm assuming Alberta, basically talking about Canada's involvement in the basically UFO research and how they do have spacecrafts and how they're trying to reverse engineer the technology.
Well, I believe that there definitely is aliens. Like, I'm Christian, but I think that in the Bible it mentions like fucking. I think were we talking about this fucking last week, or anyway? But they talk about like chariots, like flaming chariots, like coming out of the sky.
Yeah.
Type shit. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Oh,
And,
yeah.
like, I don't even know, but I want to talk a little bit more about your Muay Thai days. So, what do you have a favorite fight that you had, or like one where you remember you were like, this fight was crazy, like it was super fucked, like you got beat up really bad and won, or anything like that? Like any crazy stories regarding the Muay Thai?
I
Did you just
never
crush these dudes?
No,
You're pretty
no.
tall, Bruce. Like, how tall are you?
6'4".
6'4". Like
And
he
back
barely
then-
fits in this fucking room.
Yeah, back then I was probably 235, 240.
Damn.
I wish all muscle, but there was a bit of fat there. But I was fighting heavyweight, and back then there was no like light, middleweight, light head. Like it was anything 205 over.
Wow.
So I fought 300-pound people.
Wow.
So even though I was 240, I was still sometimes on the only thing, like the only craziest thing I can really talk about that was just the politics. So I fought a gentleman named Todd Schwartz, SCH, not SW like my name. He was the
Oh yeah.
he was the heavyweight champion at the time. So I fought and I won. And then I go to, receive my belt, and they like, oh no, because you're from Canada, you have to win 2 fights.
What?
So then, okay, so we set up the second fight. I win again.
The same day?
No,
Okay,
no.
I was
This
gonna
was
be
a couple
like,
months
holy
later.
fuck, that's crazy.
No, set up the second fight. I win. Well, no, you have to win 3 times.
Oh my.
So it's just and I beat him the 3rd time. The belt got handed to me, I think, for about 4 hours, and then got taken away. Yeah, it's just the Muay Thai.
They just took it?
Yeah, they just took it. They came over. Yeah, like said, basically because I was Canadian, I wasn't allowed to have it. So yeah, it's
That's fucking bullshit. Fuck that
You
league.
won 3 times.
against the
after
same guy.
And twice they said you had to redo it.
Yep,
And then at the end of winning it the 3rd time, you just couldn't have the belt.
I
They
couldn't
took
have
it
the belt. Yeah,
because you're Canadian.
yep.
It's racist.
What year was this?
We're talking 93, 94.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Actually.
So lots changed, but no, like I said, like breaking shins. So yeah.
That's gotta be that's gotta be a crazy feeling. Breaking
the-
somebody's just fucking shit.
Well, for that
probably just
person, you
think
don't
probably
feel
just
it.
go, oh yeah, I got him.
Well, yeah,
you know
like-
what I mean? Like,
Well, you semi feel
snapped
bad.
it.
You semi
Yeah.
feel like you look at Anderson Silva, like when his shin got snapped.
or
right?
Conor McGregor,
Yeah.
right?
So it's
Like, that was a huge one.
Yeah, like you do feel a little bit bad because
You still watch UFC, right?
Oh yeah,
To this
I'm
day.
not hardcore like I used to be. Like I used to know everybody's stats, everybody. No, like it'd be like, oh, there's a UFC because too, like there was one every weekend.
Yeah.
So fight night or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And I get it. I just hope that I think they're getting paid more now, but like you look at the money the boxers make.
Crazy.
Yeah, compared to what a UFC fighter makes.
Crazy. And I know like firsthand like what like for example my friend is making tomorrow night. Like I know because fucking I talked to him
Yeah.
about it and I'm like
Maybe-
it's good money. It's good money. It's American money. It's good money.
Maybe
and, like,
what, 5-10 grand?
He's smart.
Like it's
He's-
not.
It's like more than that, but it's like
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying. He's smart with his money, so he's gonna do good with that money. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
if
but what-
I. But it's also like you got to think like, bro, the amount of money that it takes for them to train, to pay, because they pay their coaches. He pays his management.
Yeah, exactly.
And like, it's just like, man, like, like God willing, I know he's gonna win. I have like a really good feeling about it. But like, man, like it's a fucking dangerous thing, bro. Like even like hockey players, like every other sport gets paid so much more, but MMA has like the highest. Like MMA has like the things that could go wrong or like the consequences are so
we don't
high.
in MMA or martial arts. We don't hide our violence behind a puck or a stick or a ball.
No,
Right,
it's
like-
very like
Yeah, there
there's
is
one objective.
There is like you look for football players with the post concussion syndrome. Like I get that, and it's
CTEs. This is a real thing.
yeah, it's a real thing. But their job is to get a ball and get it over a
That's
line.
right.
Like my
You have-
job,
Yeah.
my job is to beat you up physically. So
Like
yeah.
I'm gonna try and fucking retire you.
Yes,
You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Like every fucking fight.
Yeah.
It's insane.
break your arm. In jiu-jitsu, like there's it's crazy.
So you think your favorite has always been Muay Thai? Do you have a reason why it's always been your favorite?
Yeah, just because I fell in love with it and I became very proficient at it. I'm not going to say good. I don't want to, but yeah, like
I'd
I'm.
say good for sure.
Well, yeah, I have my accolades and that, but it's just it's a lifestyle. You just fall in love with something, you know, like. I love Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Like I love, being able to roll, and I love learning that. This combat sambo, though, it's turning into a new love. I think because the Thai.
You're definitely OCD, right? You're definitely like obsessive with things,
Oh,
right?
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
Which is why, like, for some people who don't know what OCD is, like obsessive compulsive like disorder, I definitely have it. I get like obsessed with ideas and with like thoughts and stuff like that, and like it can be honestly like a superpower for real.
Yeah.
If you can learn to harness it, like it can be a superpower, but
Definitely.
it can destroy you too. Like
Yeah,
it can
because
fucking
there's
destroy you, for
thoughts.
sure.
Like if you like for me, I feel like I am OCD. Like, I have to keep things clean, but also if I get a thought in my head and if it's a bad one,
It'll stick.
I have a hard time
Getting
getting
rid of it.
out of that.
Because then you find like I've always struggled with that with compulsive thought, or not compulsive thoughts. It's like the word's escaping me, but it's like when something comes into your mind. like just like a random thought. You know what I'm saying? It could
Yep.
be like something horrible. But then I'll think like, why did I think that? You know what I'm saying? It's just because I have like an overactive whatever that is. You know what I'm saying? It's just constantly feeding information. Like from the time I'm awake till the time I'm asleep, it's like bang this.
You're an
this,
overthinker.
this. Overthinker, 100%.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, it can tear you down. What are some things you found that help you deal with that side of you? You know what I'm saying? That help harness it besides Muay Thai. Obviously, that helps you.
Yeah, like I said, it's been a struggle. In this last year or so is when I've been on my self-healing journey. We've had some conversations about that, and I've talked about a little bit about childhood traumas. And you know, to be honest, I was married, divorced, I have 2 kids, but I haven't been able to make a relationship work. And it's coming out into me and some realizations and some books I've been reading that everybody suffers from childhood traumas. A lot of people don't realize it; they don't think so. But yeah, it's true. Our parents, I think 99% of parents didn't know how to parent. Their parents didn't know how to parent properly. Their parents did. And you get a model of how you think that you should be loved, how you should love, how you react to things. And
that's such a I hate to cut you off, but
No.
I think about it because I'm a parent now. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
I think about my mom and like she did the best she could with what she could do. You know what I'm saying? And like you always think about your parents like, oh, when I'm a parent, I'll never do what my mom did. You know what I'm saying? I'll never do what my mom did. Like, but I fucking find myself now as a parent like my mom was like nitpicky about you get what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
And like I even find myself like overly critical sometimes. And it's just interesting how we do, even we think we're not going to repeat the same habits that we didn't like in our parents, but we end up still falling into those like little traps, and you catch yourself. And I think the more you catch yourself and you go, no, I don't want to be like that, you try to like reshape it. But I feel like people get comfortable and just go like, fuck it, I don't even care, because they just want to go home and they just want to like fucking watch TV or put on a show or whatever and just like let their mind drift. Like, what do you think are some things you've done? Because you're a great parent. You know what I'm saying? Like,
You know what? I would disagree.
You don't think so?
No. I that's realization. I could have been a lot better. I could have been a lot better.
What are some things that you think you could have done
Like
be
you said,
better? Your kids are older.
Yes, I know, but
You have a daughter that's like my age, and then
my son. My daughter's going to be 19 on
Okay,
July
19,
4th, and
yeah.
my son will be 21 in October.
okay, so your son
But I separated from my ex-wife. My daughter was 1 and my son was 3. And I literally could have spent more time, and I you know, depending on who's listening to this, I don't want to get into some of the dramatics of that, but I could have fought for more time with my kids, and I didn't. And I'm seeing the results of that with my son right now. You know, like I have a son, but I don't, because, you know, unfortunately we don't talk much, and that's a result of my parenting, her parenting. You know, like I said, I'm not going to get into
it just gets messy over like it just.
Yeah.
I'm just not sure, like, because I think about like I'm 21, my fiance's 19, we have a 2-year-old, and I'm just like, I want this to work. You know what I'm saying? I really, more than anything, want this to work. You know what I'm saying? And I just go like, I see a lot of people who are good people like yourself, but like that shit didn't work out for you, and I'm like, I just don't know how to avoid that happening. Like I texted you last night I texted you, and I'm not gonna repeat what I said. Yeah. But I texted you last night because I was frustrated. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, Bruce, like, what the fuck, right?
Yep.
And then you're just like, you just said something so beautiful, which is like, you said a lot of stuff, but the thing that stands out that you said is sometimes it's okay to just ask somebody, how do you want to be loved right now?
Yeah.
I've never heard that before.
How do you want me to love you?
How do you want me to love you?
In this moment, stuff's going bad. How do you want me to love you right now?
How do you want me to love you? Because it shouldn't just turn off. Like that's a big problem I have with myself, is like, it's not that I stopped loving her, and I see it in patterns in my old relationships.
Yep.
Now I see it come back up, and I'm like, well, maybe she's not the problem. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
dude, that's where, like, I've been seeing a counselor for years, and that's why I went in, and I was like, okay, I've had all these failed relationships. What's the common denominator? Oh, fuck, that's me.
Yeah.
Like, they probably had a point, and I think I said
I'm sure they do, and I'm sure they did.
They had theirs.
And they had their fault in it, too.
Exactly.
You feel what I'm saying?
And if you don't mind if I can say something that I said last night,
Yeah.
was, You know what? Now I lost it. That's what happens when you're 52.
That's what happens. Trust me, that's what happens when you're on a podcast.
Yeah.
That's what happens when you're on a podcast.
Yeah.
Trust me.
There was a point there, and I honestly I can't remember. What were you saying before?
Well, I was just saying how like I want this to work, and how I noticed that in my past relationships, there's things where I was like, oh, what the fuck's wrong with her? You know what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck's wrong with her? But then really, if I think about it now, and I really like am non-biased, I'm away from the situation now, I go like, no, I think as a man, like a lot of it was me. Like, just the way that I am. I'm a fucking intense person. Yeah. And like I couldn't imagine being with me.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like I'm a good guy. Honestly, I'm a good guy. I know how to spoil a girl. I know how to treat a girl good. But at the same time, like my level of intensity never fucking shuts off, bro.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And she's not that intense, bro.
No.
She's not. She's more reserved than I am. She's more like little bit more fucking laid back, like a lot more laid back than me. Go ahead.
I got my point.
Go ahead.
Is basically, and I said this to you last night, we attract mirror images of us, and they bring out and they trigger your issues, right? Like, I've had relationships where like we did nothing but fight. It's because this childhood trauma I had, they had the same or something similar, and now
It's like damage attracts damage.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
now our insecurities don't want to play well together.
Mm-hmm.
So what happens is conflict, resentment, and next thing you know, I can't be with you anymore because
it's old things that never got fixed.
Exactly, and it can stem from your childhood.
That's probably where most of it does stem from.
Yeah, I was reading a book, and it's true. I believe it's true. What it said in this book is that person that reacts, like when you get angry, you get upset. That's not you. That is your model from your childhood. That's not your true self. So when people sit there and say, when they react to something, they're like, oh, that's not who I am. That wasn't, because it's not. That's not who your true being is.
No.
That's your reaction from the models that you were brought up with.
Because I totally get what you're saying, and I call it like, because I relate a lot of shit to sobriety and that type of thing, but I call it like gaining your sober mind, like after a fight.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because when you're like in a fight with somebody, it's like you're on drugs, like or not in an actual fight, but I'm saying like in like a real heated conversation, especially with somebody you love.
Yeah.
Especially with somebody you love. Everything's so heightened, like you have all this extra, all these extra endorphins and all that running through you. You're literally on drugs.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Dopamine,
and like
adrenaline.
you take some time to just like actually separate yourself, come back, sleep it off. Usually that's like I sleep it off, and I'll go into work the next day. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, you know what I mean? Like, what am I even like? Why am I thinking like that? And honestly, I'm a really spiritual person. I don't mean to ramble, but like I think that a lot of it is like I think the devil's just as real as God. And I think that the devil hates families.
Mm-hmm.
He hates families, and he hates, especially I would say even more like than like a traditional family, like a blended family. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like a new person comes in and like loves that child exactly like they're their own, and like that child is better off now with two than they were with one, and he's like, I fucking hate that. You know what I'm saying? Because they would have had a way bigger chance to fail, but now somebody else is there, and they're gonna try and support each other, and they hate that, and I can feel it. Like I can feel it, not like being possessed or anything like that, but I'm saying like I can feel like that old mindset when I'm in a fight where it's like, oh, like I can just be, I gotta focus on my shit. You know what I'm saying? Like and it's like no, this is your shit.
Yeah.
You're missing it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
It makes great sense. And here's a question that I'm going to ask you is, have you ever sat down with your partner and asked them what their fighting style is? How do you fight? Because you said something there that kind of is like, oh, I take time. There's some people that's a conflict comes up and they want to, you know what? They want space. They want to go think about it. And
I just mentally dip part of me.
But some people just want to. Hey, I want to.
I attack it right on.
Yeah, I want to attack it.
I attack it right on, and then like, but she doesn't like that.
Yeah. So because hers is probably. So you guys need to sit down and figure out how you guys are going to fight. Because it's you're not.
Because it's gonna happen.
Yeah. Like,
over and over and over and over again.
You're two separate people living together. You're gonna have conflict. You're gonna have conflict, and it's either so. What you can do is you can look at it as you against her, or you can look at it as a partnership, you and her against the problem. So you're a team trying to fix the problem instead of you trying to fix her, she's trying to fix you or
That's beautiful.
change.
And that's the thing I've noticed a lot, and that is beautiful. And that's so great. I fucking love Bruce so much, bro. Like,
Shout out Uncle Bruce.
man, Uncle Bruce is really the best. This is a big reason why.
It's a really good podcast.
When it really is, and I've always gravitated towards older friends, always, because I look at like my like age group of friends, and I'm like Thraxxx is great, and like me and Thraxxx are like the same age, but it's like what can me and him really gain from each other?
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like,
course.
and we do gain things from
Yeah,
each other though, because
for
we
sure.
have separate lives, and like
Yeah.
I have friends that are 21, 20, 19, whatever my age, like around my age, but it's like I'm like, what I want to learn, like I want to learn to be better, and that's why I think like for the people watching at home, it's a lot of like younger kids that watch this. Is like really like analyze your friend group, because when they say you're a product of the 5 people you spend the most time around, or 10 people, whatever it is,
5, yeah.
it's totally right, bro.
Yeah.
Because when I was hanging around drug dealers, I was a drug dealer.
Yeah.
Now I hang around Christians, I'm a you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
or not even Christians, but it is true. Like, analyze your friend group. Yeah, analyze your friend group and look at it and be like, why do I even hang? Like, why do I hang out with these people? I hang out with you because like you're wise to me. Like, I look up to you. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? And
And I
like,
appreciate
and you're
that.
fun too, and all that fucking bullshit. But
Yeah,
like, you know what
I
I'm
do
saying?
magic, right?
And you do magic and all that shit. But oh man, it's true. It's really true. Talk to me about magic a little bit. Like, what has that meant to you over the years, and fucking why magic? I guess because your mom was.
Yeah, like so I got into it, and it's just I don't know. I think it's because my grandfather. Not that because I never met the gentleman, and from what I understand, he was a piece of shit. I just think it's in me, right? It's just something that, you know, like it's not. I don't want to say hereditary, but it's
Probably is, though,
It's
right?
just something. There's. Like I said, we'll probably touch on the CRPS. Unfortunately, I'm not working right now. I'm on WSIB, and right now my struggle is trying to find a purpose because I am not doing a job.
And what were you doing before?
I was working at a biodiesel factory in Hamilton.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't even think I knew that.
Yeah, so biodiesel, it's made, like we made it out of corn oil, soy oil, animal fat. Like the plant that I was at, its main claim to fame was they could take the shittiest of any kind of fats and create a very high quality biodiesel. Like there's a few plants around here, they couldn't do that with their process, but our process, you can.
And you found that job very like fulfilling, or you just found working fulfilling, or you felt like you were doing something.
No, honestly, it was a job to pay the bills and pay my child support, right? To me, it wasn't fulfilling. It wasn't something but it was a good paying job, right? So that's right now I'm having a struggle, and I'm on a path of trying to find
Self-realization.
Yeah,
almost.
and honestly, I think in my heart, I think this is something that I might be going towards, is helping people. Like, not that I'm a counselor or anything, but just I just want to help people. I just want to help people be the best person that they can be.
I almost think you should have a podcast too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think that would be a fucking brilliant idea. I don't think have we even fucking thought about that yet?
No. I
think that'd be a fucking great idea.
We'll talk about it.
You know what I'm saying?
amazing.
Yeah.
You could even fucking shoot it here if
Yeah.
you
Well,
want.
like
I don't give a
got
fuck.
no
We-
equipment.
we
I'll
have
be
all
doing
this
it on my
shit.
phone.
You could do whatever the fuck you
Yo,
Yeah.
you know what? I just had an idea. We can put the green screen right here.
Yeah.
And have the Sincerely banner every time we record. We don't even need to have it.
That's true.
And he could have like his banner.
He could have his own thing.
Yeah.
That's
and we
totally
can put
true.
it on the green screen.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
you can have this.
This is nice.
I think like helping people, because it's like you're not. I mean, you could go back to school, but it's like you're not gonna go back to school and be a counselor.
Yeah.
Or you
no.
could though.
Well,
totally could. Be like, what, 4 years? 3 or 4
It's
years?
and that's a long story with the CRPS, the complex regional pain syndrome. I do have some procedures that they have been doing. I'm not walking with my cane. The ketamine, which I'm sure we'll get into that K-hole.
Well, talk about what that is.
So
whatever, what's
CRPS
I'm
is called complex regional pain syndrome, and it's created by actually breaking the skin. So I've had 2 falls resulting in 2 knee surgeries from the biodiesel plant, and I ended up with this complex regional pain syndrome from them just literally cutting the skin. I'm on Facebook groups and that for
What is that
CRPS.
better known as? That disease.
The suicide disease, because it's so much pain that people kill themselves. So you know, up until a little while ago, I was in a depression. I think that's probably one of the things that led to the demise of the relationship I was in. Also, living with someone with chronic pain probably isn't fun. So, yeah, in these Facebook groups, there's a girl that she was a huge CrossFit competitor, and she had an injury. She got an IV in her hand. She can't even hold a cup of coffee now, and it's all nerve. There's no actual damage. They call it an autoimmune disease. So, yeah, I have radio frequency sympathetic nerve flux.
when did that surgery happen?
So
what happened? Why did you get the surgery?
I fell at work twice, resulting in 2 meniscus tears in my right leg. So I got the CRPS after the first surgery, and it went away. And then I had the second surgery, and it came back and stayed. Damn. So, and the longer I have it, the more likely that I will not ever get rid of it. So you know, there is people that, you know, they might have it for a month or 2 or 3, but if you start getting in, like I'm on my 3rd year with it, when you start getting into years, the probability of you healing is no bueno. Damn. So
it's basically just like extreme nerve damage.
Yeah. So
your nerves are always firing.
Yeah, the nerves are always, the pain receptors are always firing.
Right.
So in October, I go up to London, Ontario to see a specialist up there. They want to do what's called a spinal cord stimulator. So they're going to go into my spine and hook electrodes up to the nerves. And it's basically like a TENS machine, like a machine that'll send electrical impulses to block. It could work, it could not. So they do a trial. I'll go up there. And
that sounds like it hurts, Uncle Bruce.
Well, I don't know. I don't know. From what I understand, the surgery probably going to hurt, but I don't know if I will feel like anything inside me when it's shocking me or.
They're going to do it in your spine?
Yeah, so they're going to attach electrodes, and then they'll have this box that I control with my phone, like an app, so I can increase the intensity and stuff. So they'll tape it to my side. I can't remember if it's a week or a 2-week trial, and if it works, then I will go back and they will implant that box inside me.
And then you can control it from your phone?
And I can control it from my phone.
What the fuck? But medicine's crazy now, eh? Like that's.
But the probability, there is a good probability that it's not going to work, or it might work for a month, it might work for a year, it might work for 2 years. Right? So and that's the thing with the CRPS, with me going back to work, is there's a chance, like I can kind of function now. Not great, but I can. But if any of these interventions stop working, I'm screwed. I'm back to a minimum of an 8 pain at least every day. The skin sensitivity, you can't even touch my skin. Like I'll literally start bawling my eyes out. I get these spikes up to a 10. Like I'm talking the most painful thing I've ever felt in my life, and I like pain. And I start bawling. Like, you know, friends of mine have seen it. I just literally and that'll happen. The spikes happen 10 to 30 times a day.
So you got tats, right? So like, fuck, like I think about the worst pain I ever felt was getting my head tattooed. Well, like, okay, so you have a tattoo on you're fucking tatted.
Yeah.
How bad is it compared to the worst tattoo you have?
Well, see, that's not fair to compare, because as I was talking to Thraxxx earlier, I have a very high pain tolerance, so which makes it even worse that I'm at a 10. Shout out to Daryl Hart, my tattoo artist. I fell asleep for 99% of my tattoos.
We gotta fucking flash a picture of Brucey on the screen, fucking with that leg tat.
Yeah,
that leg tat's crazy.
I know, the dragon on there. You see that?
That was very first.
Wow.
And
he did the whole thing, right?
Yeah. Actually, sorry, no, I lie. I had not, because it's so long ago. I had the Muay Thai fighter done by a gentleman, and then I have, and I don't know if the camera will see, but I'll show you guys.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm getting stuck. So I have the Muay Thai fighter on the back. I don't know if you guys can hear me.
Yeah. Yeah, you can hear me.
There's a phoenix, and can you see like the rounding in the back, the leg up, hands out. The phoenix has the rounding in the back, the wings are out, and the leg, the tip. So my mom, she passed away at 43 of an inoperable pain cancer, inoperable bone cancer. Sorry, guys.
No, you're good.
So I quit college and I took care of her. And there's a trauma right there that I've had to deal with. Well, no, is which now I do realize, but it still stings, is I picked her up because I was taking care of her to put her on the commode so she'd go to the bathroom, and her bones were so fragile I punctured her lungs. So yeah, when I picked her up, I crushed her ribs and punctured her lungs, and that's technically how she died.
What?
Yeah.
You never told me that.
No.
That's fucking crazy, bro.
Oh, and then my dad died of a heart attack in my arms, pretty much. So that led me to become which we might get to, is live in St. Catharines, but was trying to become a police officer or a firefighter, and I was a volunteer firefighter and paramedic over in Lewiston, New York for 5-6 years.
Where?
In Lewiston, New York.
Jeez.
Okay. So
Yeah.
did you live?
Hold it
Nope,
down. I got
no.
a pee, Thraxxx. Hold it down.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, no, I didn't live. It's volunteer. Because it's volunteer, I didn't get paid anything.
Okay.
You were able to cross with no problem, but they did. There was some border security people, the Americans, that didn't like the fact that Americans were coming over to volunteer.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, so that.
Canadians were coming over. Right?
Yeah. There, at the time that I was there, I think there was about 5 of us in the hall.
Okay.
So yeah,
That's wild.
Yeah.
People are coming from the volunteer.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it was a great experience. I would never trade it for the world. But yeah, that kind of led me into my dad passing, getting into some sort of a emergency service. Actually, now I really wish I would have went through paramedicine, especially after doing the EMT thing for a few years, and because my dad was having a heart attack and I really did nothing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't know what to do, so that kind of bothered me. Like my mom, like there was nothing I could do. Like she was so, but my dad, I could have. Right, like he ended up dying in the hospital, but he was pretty much gone when the ambulance came. So so that was some hard shit. But
And that your dad had passed in 2008. You said.
Yeah. So
sorry for your losses.
hey, it's life.
Really,
it happens.
really traumatic.
Yeah. It's you know what? Sometimes I think it's things happen for a reason, right?
For sure.
Still trying to figure out that reason.
I know. I know. Like I've experienced a lot of death in my 20 years of life, and I went to probably close to 50 funerals. I went to a lot, and I think a lot if that's always what came to the conclusion, everything's for the best, and I there's a lot of beautiful people out there. I think I've noticed maybe the best type of people aren't around for the longest, but they leave the biggest impact.
Exactly. Yep. Definitely. If we circle back, if we want to, a little bit about getting back to the magic.
Oh yeah.
Also too, I think that's part of it is being able to just maybe bring joy to somebody
3 times a minute.
that's having a bad day, or I perform here or there. I've done some shows, but I like doing close-up personal stuff with people. If I'm out and about, I've always got something on me.
You're like kind of a MILF wrangler in a way, I would say.
Well,
you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Can you tell the story about the cops that you did the fucking magic trick to?
The cops that did the magic trick.
Yeah. She's like, you're like, oh, blah blah about the beard. She's like, I'd fuck ya.
Oh, that's
I spoiled the whole thing. God damn it.
No. So I was at the dentist, and my dentist is down in Niagara Lake. So my appointment was 1 something. So by the time I was done, it was 3:00, and I'm coming back, and I see Oast.
He's like, I'm gonna fuck an adult.
And I said, I'm an adult. I can have a beer at 3:00 in the afternoon.
Fucking right, you can.
So I go in, and I'm sitting there minding my business, and as the geek magician that I am, drinking my beer, I always 9 times out of 10 have a deck of cards with me, so I'm fiddling with them. And there's 2 people at the bar, and they're kind of looking at me, and then the guy turns, and because he's got a beard, and he compliments me on my beard.
It's
He's
a
like,
fucking hell of a beard, by the way.
thank-
Yeah,
well,
it is.
it all has to do with the groomer.
I do like grooming it. It's my favorite beard to groom.
So
Fuck all your beards.
So just started shooting the crap, and they asked me what was with the cards, and I said I was a magician. So I started doing magic for them.
Started wrangling.
So they turned out to be 2 OPP officers from Windsor, and they were down here I don't think they were technically dating.
2 OPP officers fucking day drinking.
Yeah, well, like I said, they were off duty.
Yeah.
They were down here on vacation. They went to Casino Niagara, and then they were going somewhere else. But with the Magic, the guy was asking me and prompting me to see if he was going to get laid that night. So I was assuming that they are just kind of dating or whatever.
He's like, help me, bro.
Yeah,
help
pretty much. But then we got back onto the beard, and I do sometimes look at it and go, I'm 52. I don't feel 52. It just like, is there a lot of gray? Like, should I just chop it off? I don't want to dye it because that just looks stupid. I hate people.
Say it again. Fucking
dye
say it
their
again. I see it on a daily basis.
Yeah.
Unfucking believable.
And then when it starts growing and you get like the half line of where they dyed it. And
just rock it, man.
Yeah,
if the hair is going, if the beard's gray, just fucking rock it.
And to give a little back, the female, she was hot. She was hot.
She's one of them police officers. You know?
She was hot. So we got back onto the beard, and I was like, I don't know if I really want to keep it. I might shave it off. And she just looked at me and she said, no, keep it. I'm like, really? She's like, I'd fuck you.
Damn, and he's like, fuck my life.
So
fuck this bitch.
Yeah. So that was I know you're
I just love that story.
sober gentleman, but the amount of alcoholic drinks that you get from performing, and I just like bringing joy to people and making them smile, especially if they're having a bad day, or like that's the thing is like with this self-learning and healing that I'm doing in myself. Like, dude, I had road rage like you wouldn't believe. I'm surprised I am not in jail. Because like everybody's a fucking idiot. I'm the best driver in the world. Like, so
I feel that too.
Yeah. So, but I'm just, I'm starting to learn. Like, I have no idea what, is that guy speeding because his dad's on the deathbed in the hospital, and
that's what I'm saying.
And that's why he cut me off. Or maybe it's just some old dude that unfortunately is having a bad day and not paying attention. Yeah. Like, do I need to get all amped up? And it's just like, you know what? Nobody got hurt.
That's the crazy thing too, is like road rage. Like you actually have to be careful because like fuck, like I've had crazy road rage too, and like
I got a story when I was with my ex, and she was a police officer. It started in the falls. We were coming back, and this guy chucked something into this other guy's window. And it was going, and they started racing back and forth, and the guy was swerving, cutting him off, the other guy. And they got off at Lake Street, and so were we, and there was traffic. And the guy that started it, he gets out of his car and starts going after the other guy. So my ex steps out, I step out because like she's not a big girl, she's tiny. And
like, why are you getting out of the car?
So literally, like, I almost went toe to toe with him, and he's like calling me. He's like, "What the fuck you gonna do, old man?" I'm like, "Try me and see." Like, you have no idea who I am.
Yeah.
Like, it's probably
break that femur, motherfucker.
Yeah. Well, exactly. And the first thing is like it's just self-awareness. I'm scanning. I'm like, okay, so he's wearing work boots, so I got to make sure he doesn't kick me. Mm-hmm. Like, he's had steel toes on. Mm-hmm. It never went anywhere. But we end up calling the cops, and it turns out like this guy, it's not his first time doing this. Like he was already on a charge, basically the same thing.
Really?
Yeah. So
just like fuck, man, you gotta watch yourself on these roads, man. Yeah. You gotta be careful. Plus, too, like you don't want to start beefing random people too, because you never know when somebody's just gonna have a bad day and just go, I'm just gonna shoot this guy.
Yeah,
I don't give a fuck.
Stab,
I'm just gonna shoot him. I don't care.
And they say that I think it's only like 1% of the world's population actually trained in martial arts, which, in your odds, is probably pretty good if you get out of the car that somebody is not trained.
But man, they could be.
But what if they are?
The only fight I've ever gotten in my life was with a kid. Like, this was before I did any martial arts. I've done like a little bit of martial arts. I would not, by any stretch of the term, say I'm like well versed in martial arts. Like, I like kind of know what I'm doing. Like, I trained with Romero for like fucking like 2 years. I want to get back into it, but like life, fucking dadding and all that shit. But the only fight I ever got in, like, I have this tooth chip. I got in a fight with like all these kids at this house party because this kid stole my vape back in the day, and it's just like, who cares? Like, you should have just let the kid steal your vape, you know what I'm saying? But we chose to like just have a huge fucking brawl instead. And of course, this kid turned it out to be like some boxer kid or some shit, and just beat the fuck out of me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not even gonna act like I won that fight. Like, I got my shit rocked. Do you know what I'm saying? And it's just like, It's just not worth it to fight.
I've been in, unfortunately, some bar fights, even as a trained martial arts artist. But the issue was when you're severely intoxicated, your reflexes aren't that great.
No,
No.
super bad. And I'm blind too. Like, oh, bye, Bruce.
I got the shit kicked out of me by 2 steroid guides.
Really?
Oh yeah, because I was calling them out on their steroid. It was my 19th birthday.
Really?
Oh yeah, and I got literally the fuck kicked out of me.
Oh.
And as a trained black belt, starting Muay Thai.
Doesn't matter when there's 2 people. It's like
no,
man.
and when you're hammered.
And when you're hammered, yeah.
So, but that's the
Do you
problem.
think if you're sober now, you could take on like 2 guys?
Oh yeah.
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 100%.
I'd be. You know what? Like, and that's the thing is a lot of people think that martial artists. You look at martial artists and boxers, and people think, oh, you came out with a bloody nose. Well, yeah. Like you look at martial artists, boxers. Yeah, they win. A lot of them come out looking worse than the loser.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're gonna get hit. You're gonna get punched. So yeah, I think I would fare very decently, especially now.
I got my money on Bruce.
Especially now with the combat sambo.
Mm-hmm.
So that's
close quarter shit.
Yeah, the close quarter stuff is because we are focusing on stuff like that. Actually, in July we're doing it's open to everybody. If anybody's listening, July 8th, Defensive Arts, $50.
Shout out Jerry.
Yes, Jerry. It's basically third-person protection. So if you're walking down the street with your lovely girl and her, what to do, how to move them, right?
That sounds cool.
Yeah. So it's open
really
to
cool.
it's opened up to people and parents, like just for that, so you know actually how to protect.
Will you send me that? Because I'd love to pull out.
Yeah. Like I said, it's August 8th, Saturday. And then from what I understand, we're going to be going, like a few other of us are going to be doing it a little bit longer and basically doing a bodyguarding certification.
Dope. Yeah, and you were mentioning you were going to maybe be doing something
there's a
this year?
chance that I might be doing something at TIFF.
And TIFF is like...
Toronto Film Festival.
Toronto Film Festival.
Yeah.
A lot of people pull up to that.
Yeah.
A lot of people pull up to that.
Yeah, that's...
That's super sweet. Talk about this ketamine, bro.
Oh. So, I K-hole. So one of the therapies that I do have, which is amazing.
Legal.
Yeah, it's prescribed by a doctor. I am with a doctor. When I'm so I get IM intramuscular injections of ketamine, which give me about 3 days of 100% pain relief. When I get the radio frequency sympathetic nerve block, that's when they go into my spine. With a couple of needles that basically feel like the size of toonies, and they heat up my nerve to 40 degrees. Well, I'll get about 3 months of pain reduction, so I'm around a 2 or a 3. I don't need my cane. The skin sensitivity is gone. I can function, like a half decent. Martial arts is kind of hard to do.
Little iffy.
Yeah, but with the ketamine, it's the only thing that actually takes the pain away 100%.
It's crazy.
Yeah. But in that, it's an anesthetic under doctor supervision, and
all the time.
I enter that K-hole, which is sometimes very profound. Talk
about like what ketamine. So like for somebody who has no idea, like what I've never done ketamine. I've done mushrooms. We did mushrooms fucking 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, well, that was like a
tiny bit, but
like,
you know what I'm saying.
Like I don't think that would have got a freaking mouse.
No, we just ate like a little.
Like
you know what I'm
it
saying?
was like a. Yeah,
Like
that was
dash.
a micro dose.
That was like a half a microdose.
Yeah, that was a micro
It's
dose.
just like a test of water. It's a lot different. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, it's people think of it as a horse tranquilizer because it is used in the veterinary industry. People might know it as Special K on the street. They do use it as a date rape drug. But it was actually invented as a field anesthetic for the Vietnam War. So but it does act as a psychedelic, and when I do it, I feel my body moving. When I know it's not moving, I see some amazing things. So when I do it, I have music in and I have a blindfold mask on. So it's
Bruce offered to do like YouTube is like the most like fucking lame platform of all time. From now on, somebody actually Oboy told me to put the podcast on Rumble.
So
Rumble's where it's at.
Sincerely, will be not moving exclusively to Rumble because YouTube still gets more engagement, obviously, but we will be on Rumble soon. And I'm gonna update the podcast to put it on Spotify again because I took it off. I didn't take it off Spotify, but we only have 2 episodes on Spotify right now, and this is I think our 9th fucking podcast or something like that. We're doing pretty good. But that being said, Bruce offered to fucking do a live ketamine session on the Sincerely podcast.
I just got to talk to the doctor and make sure he can show up.
Yeah, make sure that he can be sitting in that chair right there.
Exactly.
And which I'm sure he'll be down to do. So tell me about that. Tell me about that. I want that one.
First,
go ahead.
what I want to do is I owe a sincere, huge, sincere. I think so.
Keep going. Just keep going.
I hold a huge, sincere thanks to Dr. John Christensen and his son Jesse. I became friends with Jesse a few years ago before actually my the CRPS, and his father has been an amazing advocate for me. They do actually have ketamine clinics where they treat people with PTSD, depression, all that stuff, but it does help for chronic pain. So if it wasn't, honestly, I owe my life to them, because if it wasn't for them, I might have succumbed to that suicide. Mm-hmm. So. Well,
that's why they call the suicide disease is that bad.
It is.
You know what I'm saying? Bad. And I think it's incredible that we're at a point in history where these things aren't fucking 30 years ago.
Yeah.
If you told anybody that you did ketamine, they'd be like,
oh yeah.
Who the fuck is this guy? Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's like,
but it's funny because shout out to Kennedy Swartz and Ashton, my son, but my daughter and her my son, they a friend, Fluto.
Your son's Ashton, eh?
Yeah.
What's his
Swartz?
Ashton Swartz.
Like I said, he was the one videotaping.
Oh yeah. Okay, so I know who you're talking about. Yes, of course.
But they make fun of it all the time. Like, my dad does and somebody will say ketamine, and like, my dad does ketamine, and they're like, it's such a shock, even to young kids.
Yeah.
So it's
But that goes to show too, like, we're not fucking endorsing you to just go out and fucking do ketamine.
No. You know what? There was a point in time where I actually, and sometimes I did a treatment today, and I feel horrible. I feel like, because it's an anesthetic.
Oh, you don't feel good?
No, this morning, when I was coming off of it.
Yeah.
It's the stomach's upset. You feel like, I don't know if you've ever had surgery.
No.
God, if you
fuck.
When you're coming out of that anesthetic, you feel nauseous. It's been getting better. But there's some days where I pop up, I'm fine. There's some days where I'm like, this is no bueno. But I've had some I think one of the experiences is I literally 100% convinced, I believe that I am in the same
this is cool.
In the same world, but I'm just on a different vibration, a higher vibration. I'm not saying that whoever's listening isn't. I'm saying that I was in a lower vibration world, and now I'm in a higher vibration world with you guys. So there is all these different vibrational worlds where you exist, I exist, the people watching exist, and it's not until it's like a video game. You got to level up.
That's fucking crazy. And you can, I'm sure you can level up through what would you say, meditation, or prayer?
Spirituality.
It's like a higher. What he's trying to say is it's all, because I get what he's saying, because I've done psychedelics, so I actually understand what you're saying. Yeah. It blew my mind the one day because I seen you the day after.
Oh yeah.
I seen Brucey fucking prime. Fucking upgraded life mode. You were on fire. So I was just whoa. Whoa. And not on fire, what the fuck? On fire, just super full of life. And he's basically just trying to say, and I believe this is true too, 100%, that it's almost like a perspective shift in a way, but it's very physical in that same sense. Yeah. Where I remember doing mushrooms, especially when I was younger, which no one's fucking endorsing drugs. This is just a podcast, so whatever, take it how the fuck you want. But I remember doing mushrooms, especially when I was younger, and coming out of the trips, waking up the next day and being like, wow. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. Almost just super refreshed. Yeah. And honestly, I do think that eventually, I really do hope that psilocybin is legalized, and
I think it's getting it's
around the corner. It's almost inevitable.
Yeah, I know you're not endorsing it, but it's doing so much good for people. Mm-hmm. I think his name is Etsy. It's the caveman that they found, because now the global warming and everything, and all the polar ice caps have melted. Well, they found a very well preserved caveman.
Wow.
And he had What's that? I think it was Iceland or Greenland. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
I normally am just ask most of my exes.
I love that.
So, but he had a little pouch on his side, and they looked at, or they tested the remnants inside, and it was cannabis and psilocybin.
Wow.
Because that's their.
So this has been used in like ancient Egyptian times, and like people even think that what Joe Rogan was talking about this, but I just steal everything Joe Rogan says. It's awesome.
Was that the God semen?
Well, no, he was saying that some people think that Moses seen the burning bush, but that's like a metaphor for DMT or something fucking crazy like that. But the point of what I'm trying to say is like this has been around for like a long time, so there's obviously like credibility to what he's saying, and the fact that something does help you with your pain that isn't a fucking pharmaceutical, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Is like, well, it's man-made though, ketamine, right?
Oh, ketamine, yes.
Yeah.
It's 100%.
So is it still technically a pharmaceutical?
Yeah, it is a pharmaceutical.
Wow. Okay. Well, I think that it's just incredible that something can help you with your pain. You can find life fucking still enjoyable.
But you know what? In the grand scheme of things, like it's technically man-made, but what are they using to make it? Like it's they can't just boom and there's ketamine.
No.
They got to use compounds and stuff to create it. So yes, it's man-made, but it's made out of compounds.
Out of things that we've created.
No, I just saw something on Joe Rogan. It was there was a gentleman that he deciphered the Black Sea Scrolls.
Okay.
And basically he figured out the Great Translation, and according to this gentleman, and I forget what the actual language was, but it was an ancient language, and Jesus translated to mushroom.
Whoa, that's crazy.
And the mushrooms, the rain would come, and the mushrooms, and there would be water dripping off the mushrooms, and they would call it God's semen.
Wow.
Because the rain would produce the mushrooms, so it was God coming down onto the ground, and these mushrooms popping up to help them. And so like I'm not an expert; it's just something I just popped across the other day.
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah,
life's strange.
Well, no, like going back to Jesse and his dad, like Jesse sent me this picture, and it's like a monkey. And it's a psychedelic picture, and it's got music and stuff like coming out of almost like a horn out of its mouth. And they said that basically language was created by mushrooms.
Wow.
So don't know how true it is.
And mushrooms talk to each other. Look it up.
Yep. Well, they do for sure.
Video of like mushrooms singing.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. That is actually true. They can like tap into like I'm not a fucking. I have a head tattoo. I'm far from a fucking scientist, but they like tapped into fucking. Whatever there was in mushrooms, and then they make sounds, bro. Yeah. They make fucking music, bro.
Everything vibrates.
Vibration.
Everything's a vibration.
Yeah.
This table's vibrating.
Yeah.
Right. The microphone's vibrating. Everything is vibration.
We're definitely gonna have Bruce like as a recurring guest, like for sure, because you have so many stories, and like we didn't even fucking scratch the surface in this episode, like literally. But if we did, like I want to save it, and this is a good point to leave it at. So I have one more question for you. Do you have any more questions?
I have one more.
Go ahead.
So I wanted to ask you about one moment here. Just so I can get the aphantasia, was it?
Yes.
Is that how you pronounce it?
Aphantasia.
Aphantasia, okay.
So what I just actually literally found out today is I have a disorder called aphantasia, which sounds really cool, but it's nothing bad. It's not like, okay, you guys are gonna get it, right? I got aphantasia. What do you got? It's the ability to imagine. So I'm gonna ask you people watching, if you think of an apple, can you actually picture that in your head? You can see an apple. I don't. I can't. Which is actually. It's like I close my eyes. I know I can describe an apple. An apple is red. It's round. It's got a stem coming out. But that's not because I'm looking at a picture. That's just because I know. You asked me to describe an elephant. I can tell you right now. It's got a long trunk. It's got big floppy ears. It's big. It's got a footprint like this. But it's not because I can see it. So, and it's actually. I'm trying to hit this spiritual. I'm on a spiritual journey. I'd like to say, and it's actually. That's why I found out today. Is because I was trying to do an astral projection meditation where I project myself into the universe. And I couldn't because it's basically telling me to imagine this and picture yourself doing this. And I'm like, I can't. So I Googled, why can't I imagine a picture in my brain? And then all this stuff came up, and I started watching some stuff on YouTube, and it's called aphantasia. It's the inability to picture things in your brain.
So if you're watching this and you can't fucking imagine an apple, you got aphantasia.
Aphantasia.
I'm sorry, but there's no fucking reversing it, so you're fucked.
Actually, no. I was following a gentleman today. I was watching. So he had a YouTube channel, and he's helped some people. He's a neuro dude, and he's combining his two loves, because he had this aphantasia, but he was also looking into basically psychic telekinesis, brain power, and he was like, I don't really want to say much about this because I don't want people that are really following, and he's been in cahoots with some like neurological brain surgeons to think that I'm some whack because I'm believing in telekinesis. But it's turning out now he's kind of melding them together, and he's like, screw it, I'm just going to have one brand, and it's just going to be everything combined. That there's been a lot of universities that have already been doing these telekinesis psychic studies.
And the fucking CIA.
Yeah, CIA. Yeah. Well, if you watch that Sean Webb on Sean Ryan show, he talks about which, if I got a couple of minutes, even though I told you I can't see that, he talked about, what was it called? It's basically something seeing, where basically they can have somebody...
Oh, remote viewing.
Remote viewing, thank you. They basically have somebody sitting in this chair, and they're seeing what's going on in a room in Russia.
Which I think you shouldn't... I think, for the record, I'm gonna say something too. I don't think that's good.
No, I don't think it's good.
I think that's like, it's definitely real, but as like a fucking... As I'm going to say, as a Christian, I don't think you're supposed to do that.
No.
I don't think you're supposed to. I think you have the ability to, but I think it's tapping into some shit.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah. Well,
it's got to be, because it's like, that's not normal.
I don't know if it's because I just watched this podcast, but on my ketamine trip today, I didn't have a really psychedelic trip, but I could see people, like, and because I can't imagine, it's very blurry, and I can tell it's people, but I can't make out faces, but it's like, it's people walking in a hotel in Mexico. I saw kids playing in a desert, playing soccer.
What?
So, like, it could be just I'm recalling something that I've seen, but it was just like, it was
strange.
It was, yeah. I don't, like I said, it could be just I just watched this YouTube show about this, but he didn't talk much about it.
Yeah.
But or maybe that's exactly what I was doing.
And psychedelics can do that too, right?
Yeah.
They can definitely bring you to a different plane, like we just fucking established, right?
Yeah. So, what was your question?
Yeah, my final question. This is what I like to end with, and I end with a prayer. You mentioned when you were younger that your brother and sister picked on you.
Yep.
There's fucking billions of people in the world, and I guarantee at least 1 billion people have like a fucked up childhood happening right now. So what would you say to yourself as 51-year-old Bruce, and that little boy sitting in front of you right now, hopeless, not sure what to do for whatever situation? I'm just relating it to that. What would you say to him to help him keep going? Because I'm sure there were times where you felt like you didn't want to keep going, right?
Yep. Really, and I hope I hope when I say this, it's not just a piddly-ass answer. You made it. You did it. You didn't think you would. There was lots of struggles but you made it. Yeah. You're safe. You're good. I don't feel like I need to change what happened, because everything, to me, I think everything happens for a reason. What that happened built me to be the man that I am today. So, I would just... You
wouldn't even change it, no?
No. Yeah. No, I would just say, dude, you got this.
Yeah. Pressure makes diamonds, right?
Yep.
That's what they say, right?
Exactly.
Most definitely.
It's a beautiful podcast, Bruce. We're gonna have you on many times. Maybe
shout out Uncle Bruce.
Shout out Uncle Bruce. Maybe you can even swing by tomorrow, watch this Romero fight.
Oh, for sure. Actually, I have a Muay Thai grading to attend, and that. So
good.
That'd be a motive.
Yeah. 100%.
I don't know what time it starts, but I'll let you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to end with a prayer. I'll grab your hand if I can. Grab your hand, Thraxxx. Dear God, thank you so much for Bruce. Thank you for Thraxxx. thank you for my fiance and for my son. I'm grateful to share this life with these people. I pray that you would bless Bruce and help him with his health and help him on this spiritual journey, God, and just guide him and make him feel loved and make him feel safe, and help him to see how great of a person he really is, and how far he's come from that little boy, and just help him to continue to walk into your light, God, and to get to know you, and bless every single viewer watching this, and help heal the world of the sickness that it has, and we can't wait to see you, God. Amen.
Amen.
And
Father, Son, Holy Spirit.
we'll catch you guys in the next episode.
Peace.
Peace.
Awesome.
Oh yeah.
That was awesome.
Classic episode, Bruce.
Thank you so much,
Classic
man.
episode, brother.
Thank you so
great.
much, man. That was awesome.
Dude,
You gotta
it's my honor, man.
You really got to do your own podcast.
I always told the truth, I never sold my soul, God save these broken youth. I always take too long to recognize I'm you, and it'll be alright, I know I'll raise the roof. All white shirt, black jeans, I've been troubled since I was like 17, and these thoughts of mine keep me in a dream. I used to wander roads hearing voices scream, do you know what I mean?